Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, tries to tell Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, the truth. However, she seems unwilling to accept it. The psychologist could make some bold moves to make sure Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, waits forever for her destiny. Brooke has never denied her feelings for Ridge. It has been the designer who couldn't seem to admit the truth about his own feelings. That all changed when Brooke fell off of Nick Marone's, Jack Wagner, boat. When Ridge pulled her from the water, she wasn't breathing. When Brooke went toward the light, she didn't see God or her past or children, but Ridge. Then she woke up as Ridge was thankful she survived. Ridge was determined not to make the same mistakes. He promised Brooke he was going to make this right. When they return to Los Angeles, Brooke will have a lot to tell Donna Logan, Jennifer Gareis, Katie Logan, Heather Tom, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Meanwhile, Ridge will try to tell Taylor the truth about his dynamic with Brooke. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Taylor will be in complete disbelief. It's either that or she's just downright delusional. In a preview clip, Taylor tells Ridge that Brooke has a future, but it's not with the designer. Then Taylor adds that she isn't taking her engagement ring off. As Ridge hangs his head down, he realizes splitting up from Taylor is going to be difficult. It seems that Taylor could use her broken heart syndrome diagnosis to her advantage. If Bridgie reunites, Taylor could suddenly collapse and claim that her BHS has returned. Of course, Ridge would come running just like he did last time. That might not be all that Taylor does either. Could she partner up with Nick to make sure that they both end up with the partners that they want? Just how far will they go, and in the end, could Taylor and Nick have their own romance? With head writer and executive producer Bradley Bell hinting Bridgie is end game, Taylor will need another man to turn to. If not Nick, then maybe it could be Deacon Sharp, scene canon. After all, once Deacon finds out about Sheila's secret, their marriage could be over. So stay tuned for some reunions and shakeups. The Los Angeles skyline shimmered in the late afternoon sun, but Ridge Forrester's world was anything but bright. Standing alone in the Forrester Creations CEO office, Ridge gazed out the window, one hand in his pocket, the other rubbing the back of his neck. He had been so sure, so certain, that destiny was calling him back to Brooke Logan. The history, the passion, the undeniable bond. It all pointed toward a Bridge reunion. Yet here he was, days later, still unable to take that final step. The hesitation wasn't because his feelings for Brooke had changed. No, those were as powerful as ever. It was because of Taylor Hayes. She wasn't just a chapter in his life, she was an entire volume. And lately, Taylor seemed to be writing herself back into the present with unexpected persistence. Taylor's quiet strategy. Across town, Taylor sat in her cozy living room, a cup of chamomile tea cradled in her hands. To anyone else, she looked serene, even content. But her mind was working overtime. She'd heard whispers. Ridge spending more time with Brooke. Brooke's subtle yet unmistakable hints about their future. Taylor wasn't ready to watch it all play out without a fight. She knew Ridge better than almost anyone. His loyalty, his sense of responsibility, his tendency to be swayed by guilt. All of it could be used to her advantage. Not in a malicious way, she told herself, but to protect him from making yet another emotional mistake. Just a little more time, she murmured to herself. A little more space for him to remember us. Brooke's growing impatience. Meanwhile, at Brooke's mansion, she was pacing in silk slippers, a glass of white wine on the coffee table untouched. Hope had stopped by earlier, full of optimism, telling her mother that Ridge's heart was clearly leaning in her direction. But Brooke wasn't so sure anymore. Every time they got close, every time they were on the verge of a real, solid reunion, something happened. A call from Taylor, a family crisis, or Ridge simply needing to think. And Brooke Logan, queen of romance and resilience, was starting to feel the familiar sting of déjà vu. She wasn't about to lose him to Taylor again, not after everything. A family dinner with tense undertones. When Steffi invited everyone to a family dinner at the Cliff House, Ridge thought it would be a harmless way to spend time with his children and ease the pressure on his heart. What he didn't count on was Taylor using the evening as a subtle stage. She arrived radiant, her laughter filling the room, her warmth enveloping Ridge like a favorite old sweater. Brooke was there too, poised, gracious, but clearly on guard. Between bites of salmon and sips of wine, Taylor made little comments. "Remember when we took the kids to Aspen that winter? You insisted on building a snowman with them before dinner. You've always been the one to keep our family grounded, Ridge." None of it was overt, but every word tugged on memories that had been buried under layers of recent drama. Brooke noticed, and her smile tightened with every nostalgic glance Taylor sent Ridge's way. Steffi and Thomas, the wild cards. Adding to the tension, Steffi and Thomas weren't exactly neutral parties. Steffi, protective of her mother, made no secret of her belief that Ridge belonged with Taylor. She framed her comments to highlight Taylor's loyalty and stability, often in contrast to Brooke's turbulent history. Thomas, though slightly less aggressive, echoed his sister's sentiments. "Dad, you just seem more relaxed when you're around Mom," he remarked casually, though the gleam in his eyes suggested the comment was anything but casual. Ridge's private struggle. Later that night, Ridge found himself driving aimlessly through the city. He wasn't avoiding Brooke, exactly, but he also wasn't ready to see her. The truth was, Taylor had stirred something in him. Not the fiery, intoxicating pull Brooke commanded, but a steady, comforting warmth. And in this stage of his life, stability had its own allure. He pulled into a quiet overlook, the city lights sprawled below like stars scattered across the earth. His phone buzzed. A text from Brooke, "Still waiting for my destiny." Ridge stared at it for a long time before typing back, "I know, I just need a little more time." Brooke's countermove. Brooke wasn't one to sit idly by while fate slipped through her fingers. If Taylor wanted to play the nostalgia game, Brooke would match her move for move. The next day, she invited Ridge to the Logan estate for lunch. When he arrived, she laid out a spread of his favorite foods, a nod to the early days of their romance. Old photos adorned the table, from their first wedding to family vacations with RJ. "This is who we are, Ridge," Brooke said softly, her blue eyes locking onto his. "We survived more storms than most couples could handle, and we always find our way back." Ridge felt the familiar rush, the magnetic pull that had defined their decades-long dance. He kissed her gently, but when she deepened it, he pulled back, a shadow crossing his face. "I'm not ready to make promises yet," he admitted. "Not until I'm sure." Taylor turns up the heat. Meanwhile, Taylor wasn't leaving anything to chance. She asked Ridge to meet her at the beach for a casual walk. The ocean breeze, the sound of waves crashing, the easy flow of conversation, it all felt so natural. "You've been under so much pressure lately," Taylor said, her voice low and soothing. "You don't have to rush into anything. Just let yourself breathe." She didn't demand, didn't push. And that was exactly why her words lingered in his mind long after they parted. Hope's intervention. Hope, ever the romantic optimist, decided to take matters into her own hands. She confronted Ridge at Forrester Creations, telling him plainly, "You and Mom are meant to be. I've seen what you two have together. It's real, it's lasting. Please don't let old habits or guilt keep you from your future." Ridge smiled at her earnestness, but her words only deepened his inner conflict. Because Hope was right, and so was Taylor. The unexpected complication. Just when Ridge thought he could buy himself more time, an unexpected curveball hit. An urgent call from International Forrester offices meant he'd have to leave Los Angeles for at least a week. Both Brooke and Taylor offered to help in their own ways. Brooke by promising a warm homecoming, Taylor by telling him to use the trip as a chance to reflect. And so the stalemate continued. Spoiler preview. What's next? Insiders hint that Ridge's absence will only fuel the fire between Brooke and Taylor. Brooke might make a bold, public declaration of love to stake her claim, while Taylor could subtly undermine that move by presenting herself as the more grounded choice. Steffi and Thomas will continue to champion Taylor, while Hope and Donna rally behind Brooke. By the time Ridge returns, he may find himself not only choosing between two women, but also navigating a family divide that could change Forrester dynamics forever. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.